Thank you very much, sir, first for giving me this opportunity and for the kind introduction. I'll be talking on phaco in traumatic cataract with iridodialysis. I don't have any financial interest to disclose. And before coming to this talk, I would like to emphasize that this is a very much neglected area in cataract surgery. And I think all anterior segment surgeons should master repairing of iris defects during the surgery itself. And if not during the surgery, at least at a later date. This gives a lot of relief to the patient in terms of glare, halos, and photophobia. So what are the effects of trauma to the anterior segment? It leads to corneal and corneoscleral rupture with uveal prolapse, and that prolapsed iris has to be excised, leading to a sector defect, which has to be repaired ultimately. Traumatic mydriasis, you can repair this mydriasis on a later date. Traumatic iridodialysis, traumatic cataract, traumatic subluxation, and glaucoma. And mind you, all these conditions might coexist in a particular case when you take up for traumatic cataract operation with iridodialysis, or it might be a sector defect, or there might be mydriasis and all. So why repair this iridodialysis? Because it causes decreased visual acuity, it causes incapacitating glare, photophobia, diplopia, and of course cosmesis is an issue. 9,0 monofilament polypropylene, that is Prolene, is the best suture material for the repair of iris surgery. It has a smooth, snag resistant finish, limited memory, and resists degradation. Now coming to a case, it's a very old case I retrieved from our archive done by another surgeon in Disha. But there are certain technical problems in this case which I would like to emphasize. This you can see there is a traumatic iridodialysis over here, and there is some amount of subluxation also. So again, side ports are being made. And before staining this, at this point of time, I would like to stop and say that before staining with trypan blue, one should adequately give protection to that traumatic iridodialysis and subluxated area with the help of a dispersive viscoelastic, so that there is no mixing of vitreous with the trypan blue. And this is a very important thing which one should consider. And as you can see that viscoelastic substance is introduced in the anterior chamber, and you might sometimes encounter some amount of fibrosis in the anterior capsule, which you need to take care, and that might make your rhexis very difficult. See, the rhexis is being started. And at this point there is some fibrosis. Ultimately it was done, there was no problem, and it was a nice circular rhexis. So hydrodissection was performed, and gentle nuclear rotation, and you can see that flutter of iris over there, and you should always tamponade, exactly, with viscoelastic at that point, so that vitreous does not come out. Again, this is a controversial area, which hook to put, and since there was a subluxation also, and you can use this hook on both sides of that subluxated area, and it retracts the iris as well as the capsule. It holds the capsule in place. Now the phacoemulsification is being carried out in the usual manner. So you must be aware of the lateral separation force you are putting, because it might give rise to more subluxation and zonular dialysis. So this is a very important point you should keep in mind. So the phacoemulsification was more or less uncomplicated. And you should be very careful before removing your last fragment, because at this point of time the capsule might come to your phaco tip. See, at every point of time the surgeon is injecting viscoelastic so as to keep the PC down. So the last fragment you must be particularly very careful. And you should keep your vacuum as low as possible. See the last fragment. And before emulsifying, the surgeon introduces viscoelastic to deepen the antechamber and then emulsify the last fragment. Also, there is a wonderful innovation by Dr. Bhomik, my previous speaker. There is a visco pump which you can use in order to inject viscoelastic in the chamber while doing your phaco. And it can act as your second-hand instrument also. The cortical material is aspirated. The bag is inflated with viscoelastic, and then a capsular tension ring is introduced. Then you can inject it with manually, or you can use an injector for that. And you should avoid putting the open loop at the point of subluxation. In this case it was there. Now you put the intraocular lens in. So there goes the haptic. Now you make a scleral pocket. It need not be as big as it is shown in this video, because you can make one small pocket. It can be a Hoffman pocket also. So if you have a double armed, double straight needle, then your life becomes easy. But in this case it was quite a long time back, so it was one long needle at one side and a small curved in the other side. So the surgeon had to take out the needle in this way and again put it back. And while putting it back or taking it out, you should be very careful about not engaging the corneal fibers. It might lead to catching of the corneal fibers, and your whole effort will go in vain. You have to totally redo the whole procedure. Also, there is another technique. It's in the YouTube. One Indian surgeon has done it. It's a sewing machine technique, and you can go and see it in the YouTube. Also, it's very good in repairing iris using a 26 gauge long needle. So that ends the surgery. And one more surgery, if I have some time, I can show. No time. No. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Oyan.